could see the silhouette very well because it was dark, and it stood out against the starlit background. But the silhouette looked very demonic. It was a very big, muscular, sturdy, humanoid creature. Welcome to Visions of the End Times, Part 3. In this part I'm gonna talk about a particular vision I had like 4 months ago when I was in prayer. This was kinda weird. The Holy Spirit rushed in and suddenly I was completely blown away by a vision shown in my mind. So really mid-sentence, my prayer stopped. Holy Spirit showed me these images, and I feel that now, after about 4 months, it is the right time to share. So I will share my vision with you guys. So what happened in this vision was, the first thing I got to see was just pitch black street. It was not like a street you would see here in Europe. It was more like a street you would see in New York. Like a very big avenue, wide street, like skyscrapers on both sides of the street. But the vision started really black, like my eyes had to adjust to the darkness, because there was no artificial light, there was no neon signs, no street lights. The houses, the apartment buildings, the skyscrapers were not lit by lights. So once my eyes got adjusted to the dark, I remember thinking, what happened to the lights? It was like all electricity was gone. And the next thing I realized was that there was absolutely no sound, nothing. It was like a very big avenue and it was dead quiet and it felt eerie. As I was standing there or just watching the scene and my eyes got adjusted more and more to the dark, I realized that the street I was standing in, it was pretty long. It really disappeared into the horizon. It was a very big, long avenue. And there were cars all piled up, not neatly, but like in a big car wreck. Like there had been a big accident. And these cars were upside down. They were sideways on the sidewalk, on top of each other. And it felt eerie because it was so quiet. And I remember that there was some light, a little, from the headlights of these car wrecks. Some of these car wrecks still had batteries that produced just enough energy to show some flickering lights. It was not a lot, but just enough to make out the pileup of cars. And I remember seeing some smoke going through these car lights. But that was just about all the light there was, and most of the light came from the stars because I could see the night sky very well. I realized that in the far distance there was a very big silhouette towering up into the sky, like, well, it went above the skyscrapers, that big. And I could see the silhouette very well because it was dark. And it stood out against the starlit background. But the silhouette looked very demonic. It was a very big, muscular, sturdy, humanoid creature. But it looked like it had bracelets on with spikes or something around its neck with spikes. I could not make it out in the dark. But I remember seeing 2 big horns on its head. In some way, somehow it felt a bit corny, like, oh, look, a demon just like they depict in the movies, but I could sense the reality of it, so it wasn't that movie-like anymore when it was standing there, and I felt that creature was the one responsible for the total carnage I was witnessing in front of me. Electricity went out, all these cars crashed into one another. I wasn't there to witness that scene, but since some battery still had power to light some headlights, I realized this is something that happened recently, like this day, maybe in daylight. And I suddenly realized not only there was no sound, but there was also not one human being to be seen. You would expect wounded people or dead people in these cars or on the pavement, in the street, but not a single human being could be seen. And the moment I realized that, I heard a voice, and to me it felt like the voice of the Holy Spirit. Now, if you've never experienced this, this might sound a bit weird, but if you know, you know. I sensed the Holy Spirit, and it spoke. And after this comes the water. Then suddenly I snapped out of it. I realized, wait a minute, I was still in prayer, mid-sentence. So I had to take that in for a while, finish my prayers, and sat on this vision for like 4 months. And now I feel it's time to share it with you guys. Now, I'm totally clueless what that meant. I don't know what to make of it, but I feel I need to share it. So if you guys have an idea about this, perhaps other people having visions like this, please share, because I'm really curious about this one. So this was Visions of the End Times, Part 3. Wishing you guys all the best, and have a nice day.